House in Baltimore and WNST.net. All of our WNST coverage brought to you by our friends at LeeTessier.com, the Tessier Realty folks, doing it up in Harford County, doing it for us here in downtown Baltimore. You can find them there. And out on the Tessier hotline, joining us now, he's an on-air personality. He's an interesting cat. Anyone with a 603 area code always gets my attention because my wife is from the 603 up in New Hampshire. But this guy is a University of Maryland grad and has started a podcast about all things Tiger Woods. I don't know if he was alive when Tiger Woods blew me off on New Year's Eve in 1996, but I'm about to find out. Cam Rogers is M.R. Rogers or Mr. Rogers, M.R. Rogers 99, out on Twitter and featured in various television formats and ESPN and doing his Tiger Woods thing. Man, you started a Tiger Woods podcast before he won the Masters. You bet the long ticket on this, Cam Rogers. I'll say that, right?
Nestor, how about that, my man? I mean, I start the show, and then a week later, Tiger is hoisting the green jacket. The timing, my friend, could not be better.
You knew it all along.
That's right. That was an investment in Tiger's win, basically.
Bro, I never, ever, ever went to these airwaves and said he's done. I always, I'm older than you, and I go back to Halloween, and, when the bad guy sits up after he takes the knitting needles in the throat, and, that to me, that was always Tiger. Tiger was always going to circle the wagons one time. I did not know it would be as dramatic as it was. I didn't know when it was going to happen. It happened, and now we look to Pebble Beach and we look into the great beyond, and you and your upstart Tiger Woods. How old were you when Tiger blew me off on New Year's Eve? Let's see. That would have been December 31st, 1996. Were you on the planet at that point, Cam?
I was for about 2 years, Nestor. That's okay. How old I was.
So my career is older than you. Oh, God, I'm getting old. I tell you.
But let me tell you, I have been rejected by Tiger Woods myself back in my career.
Well, I like you more already. It's the one. It's the ones that he kowtows to that I worry about. No, look, man, I've been up and down the river with Tiger. I was nationally syndicated at the turn of the century when he literally was just rolling out and winning whenever he wanted to in this unheard of way. And I had all those conversations, and they went away. And we were always, there's the surgery and the wife and the issues, and doesn't have his game back, and physically he'll never be the same, and he's getting older, and all of that stuff. But I'm not convinced we're at the end just yet. And every one of these majors that comes back for the next couple of years, because of what happened 2 months ago, we're going to be talking about this.
Without a doubt. I mean, obviously, it was very easy to say that Tiger's career is over when he had the DUI situation, when he went through the sex scandal, the back surgeries, blah, 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 blah. It was almost too easy, And here we are, sitting in 2019 with Tiger Woods being the defending Masters champion. It's absolutely unbelievable. And we saw signs of this, Nestor, back in 2018 as well. He contended at Carnoustie at the Open Championship. He contended at Belle Reve at the PGA. Of course, he won the Tour Championship at East Lake. And so we thought maybe Tiger would have a special 2019 campaign, but I did not predict him to win the Masters. I'll tell you that much. My pick was Hideki Matsuyama. He finished inside the top 30 or something like that. But I did not have Tiger winning that tournament. And the fact that he did is a real shot in the arm, if you will, to the game of golf. Because there is a reason my podcast is dedicated to one single player in the game of golf, because he is golf, Tiger Woods.
Well, and now golf is back. And look, this is a strange year all the way around, right? Like if you talk about Tiger Woods, you talk about moving majors around and really messing with the arc and the body clock of everyone who has been golf-centric. This would be playing the World Series in November. We've tried that. This would be moving the Super Bowl into February. We've done that. Now even the Triple Crown here in these parts, we talk about what if we stretch those races out by a couple of weeks and made them once a month? Would that help the industry? Would that move things along? Golf has changed things here, and I think everybody's getting used to it to some degree here as we move forward. The same way I got used to interleague play when you were a young man, Cam. But for you and for a guy that's a young guy, this is going to be the way it's going to be. What do you make of the new body clock for golf?
I think it's really interesting, and maybe a question that I can answer better at the end of the season. But as of right now, I like it because obviously we're front-loading the schedule a little bit more with the major championships being moved up, if you will, with the PGA just last month and, of course, the Masters back in April. It is kind of funny to think about the U.S. Open.
Oh, it feels funny that it's not even summer and 3 out of 4 are done, right? Like, so,
that's right.
Yeah, it hasn't even gotten warm yet, kind of, sort of, right?
Exactly, and there's definitely going to be a little bit of a gap after the Open Championship and then leading up to the FedEx Cup playoff. But really the main reason for all of this, Nestor, is the NFL. I mean, they did not want to dip into the NFL season more than what they needed to. Obviously, the ratings took a big hit at the end of the FedEx Cup playoffs the last few years because of the NFL season getting going. I mean, you can't break that shield, so you might as well work around it, and that's what they're trying to do here. You know, we'll see what happens by the end of the year, but I will say that Tiger being a contender in a lot of these tournaments and being a Masters winner this year is definitely going to inflate the ratings a lot.
Cam Rogers is our guest. You can follow him at MRRogers99. He has a podcast dedicated to Tiger Woods. He's also a Terrapin. Were you like journalism doing the Merrill thing down there? What's your deal?
Philip Merrill, College of Journalism, sir. Yes, class of 2017.
What did you learn? Please, I said last week that it's in my life plan on my bucket list, and I don't have a lot of things left on my bucket list. Like, you know, I'm kind of old and have done a whole bunch of things that I probably shouldn't have done. But one of the things I want to do is give a commencement before college gets outlawed and we just do away with it altogether here in America. So, I figure I have 10, 15 years to go here. But what did you learn at the University of Maryland that helps you become a better Tiger Woods podcaster, Cam Rogers?
Well, I'll tell you this, humble brag, because public speaking is my only skill in life, honestly. So I was the journalism commencement speaker, actually. And what my main motivation was in terms
So hold on, you're like 23 and you've given a commencement already and I haven't?
Well, I was the student speaker, so.
Well, I mean, that's a big deal, I think, right? How many, how many kids are in the program?
Oh, I want to say 500.
And you gave the speech. All right.
Yes.
Well, that's why you're talking golf with me today and talking about Tiger Woods and betting the futures on a 43-year-old. How old's Tiger?
Ripe old age of 43.
Yeah, a 43-year-old golfer. You're getting your career going. But, it really is like Superman. Like, he is a different level of Michael Jordan, LeBron, like whatever that iconic thing is. And above and beyond, Muhammad Ali. I mean, he is above and beyond all that. There's no doubt about it. But I figure your journalism background will come in handy here, right?
No, absolutely. And the one thing I think I took away from my time at Maryland was tenacity. Going out and getting it. You don't get anything handed to you in the journalism industry, that is for sure. I almost see myself in a way as an entertainer, an actor, where, you got to go out and put yourself out there and do radio spots with fantastic people such as yourself and promote yourself.
Oh, stop. Yo, come on.
By the way, this is my
You're making me blush,
radio spot.
Yeah, you're like a local fan, though. Like, so your background's in Nashua, New Hampshire, which, Live Free or Die, Man of the Mountain, Granite State, all that stuff. Seacoast, what other straight? So, I've had I've had mudslides and tenders at the back room, right? I've had lobster rolls at
there you go.
In a lot of places, but the Golden Rods, that place. So I mean, you're from the area. How did you wind up in Maryland? Like, it was a journalism thing, right? Like you wanted to come here and be Mike Wilbon or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there are a few reasons. Of course, the journalism school is definitely way up there. It's highly ranked in the nation right now, and it's not too far from home. Obviously, it was only an hour flight away from me, and I will have to tie this in as well. I'm from New England, but I'm an Orioles and Ravens fan, Nestor. I think.
Why? Everybody in your neighborhood's a Red Sox fan. Come on, dude. Really? Why are you that guy? Seriously.
I guess I am a contrarian, but the real reason behind it all was that when Kevin Millar was on the Boston Red Sox, I was absolutely obsessed with him. I would do his batting stance in Little League. I mean, I knew his stats by the day.
Kevin Millar.
There you go.
I remember that. Yes.
And when he went to Baltimore, I could not stay a Boston fan. So guess what I did? I migrated to the Baltimore Orioles when he went over there. And I wasn't going to be one of those people who, liked a baseball team in one city and a football team in the other.
Hold on, dude. You were like 6 or 7 years old when they won the first World Series? Schilling, Bloody Sock. How old were you when Bloody Sock happened?
That was third grade, so yeah, I was around that age. 10, maybe 9, something like that. Oh yeah.
You're seeing my abject disgust out on the video cam right now that I'm getting to be this old. I mean, you're almost so old that I've had my press pass taken away more of your life than you were. It's true. My press pass has been gone 13 years. You're not 26. So wow, man. We're getting there. So you saw the Red Sox win as a little kid and became an Oriole fan anyway.
That's right. And then I became a Ravens fan to stay consistent with my Baltimore fandom, and the rest is history, man. I mean, it's funny. Even after Millar left Baltimore for Toronto, I just stuck with the Orioles. I stuck with the Ravens. You know what?
Dude, what does your family make of you? I mean, seriously.
So my dad is
They think you, went away and caught a cold or something, really?
They say all the time, Cam, if you want to come back, we're welcoming you with open arms. And you know what? I say no. It's part of the brand. I'm a Ravens and Orioles fan for life. I'm going to stick with this. And my dad does joke sometimes that I was adopted.
So I haven't been to New Hampshire in 4 or 5 years. My wife's been battling cancer the last couple of years. She doesn't go as often as she used to go. When she goes, she spends time with her family. I stay here. I work on Baltimore Positive and stuff like that. So I haven't been in a while, but the craziest thing that happens every time I go, first off, it's 25 degrees colder there. Every minute of every day, always, right? Global warming my ass. I've been to New Hampshire.
Especially on the coast.
Right. Especially on the seacoast near Hampton Beach and places like that.
Yep.
So, but the one thing is the accent. You get off the plane and, Kevin Millar and Wicked Hardcore and, stuff like that. So how do you, my wife does not have a New Hampshire accent, by the way. So she's not the only one now that I've spoken to you, but you've got to be the only one in your family who, doesn't have that thing, right?
Yeah, well, my dad is from the Boston area, Melrose, Mass, to be exact.
Right.
So he definitely has that. He's a lifer. Meanwhile, with me,
so the two of you walk in a room and I talk to both of you, I would not think you're related because you don't speak the same way, literally.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Okay. Except we do look alike. Except I have the hair.
My wife does not have her father, mother, sister. They all have it. She doesn't have it, and I don't know why. Everyone in her family has it. Well, not everyone. A couple of her cousins don't have it, but they've migrated, south, like that. So,
right.
But I don't know how you would escape it. I mean, I'm from East Baltimore, and sometimes, Second Brew, it comes out, But so you come here for college to become a journalist, and you become an Oriole fan? It's crazy. I'm just trying to figure it all out, bro. You called me,
Well, again, I think it goes back to the contrarian thing because for some reason, for example, when I was 6 years old during the 2000 presidential election, everybody wanted Bush, everybody wanted Gore. Well, who did I want? Ralph Nader. Because why? I don't know. He was different. He was that third guy. You know what I mean? So
you like the color green or something, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Exactly. It was something that I couldn't explain. So,
well, I like the color baby blue, like this pen right here, and I became a Houston Oiler fan when I was 4 years old because of that. So stupid stuff happens. By the way, Cam Rogers is here. M.R. Rogers, that's Mr. Rogers 99. He has a Tiger Woods podcast. He's going to talk some Pebble Beach. So, you really, the reason we're on this week isn't to talk Orioles because there's not much to discuss, or Ravens, and we have mini camp, and, I'm wearing my semi-Lamar Curio. It's not really an 8, it's an O, but that's another thing altogether.
There you go.
But I would say this for the golf fan that's out there, it's all about Tiger and how Tiger's doing. Is Tiger making the cut? Is Tiger missing the cut? And it really is a roller coaster ride at this point, right? There's no saying he's on the course on Saturday, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because Tiger is so process dependent now. He's not 22 years old when he can just get off the shuttle bus, hop on to the golf course, and win in the U.S. Open by 15 shots. That ain't going to happen this year. So, sometimes there is that element of unknown to Tiger because he needs to wake up 100%. He needs to go through his warm-ups to the best of his ability. He needs to do this and that and this and that all before he hits his first tee shot. So you look at the PGA Championship last month, for example. He fell sick. He didn't practice on Wednesday, probably woke up very tight on Thursday, wasn't fully prepared. What happens? He misses the cut. Now, you look at the Memorial Tournament last month as well, and he was feeling much better about going into that tournament. What happens? He finishes inside the top 10. So, really, you got to zone in on how he is feeling before a tournament, especially the first few days leading up to a tournament. So I think zoning in on his press conference this week will tell us a lot. Really stare at those cues that maybe he gives us to see if he's good. I think he is fine. I don't think he'll fall sick again before a major championship. So I would expect him to make the cut at the very least.
Well, I mean, then there's Koepka, and there's Rory. We just go down the list of everyone else who wants to hold it up on Pebble Beach here this week as well as the tour moves around and everybody's body clock gets used to this. We had guys playing last week and guys not playing last week. Some thoughts about this tournament, and which I'm sure will be incredible aerial, beautiful shots of Pebble Beach because nothing quite looks like it, not even Augusta, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you factor in the water, Monterey Peninsula, it's absolutely beautiful. I think we're in for really a fun tournament. Pebble Beach, not one of the longer U.S. Open courses out there. It's actually the shortest course we are playing on since 2013 at Marion, a course that Justin Rose won at, and where Phil Mickelson, of course, got his last runner-up at this nation's championship. I do want to stare at Phil Mickelson real quick because this could be realistically his last shot to get that career Grand Slam. I think things are kind of trending in the wrong direction for him this season, and I don't know what that means going forward in his career. He did miss last year's edition of the U.S. Open. So
I've seen all the drug ads. I mean, I know he's had some problems, So,
yeah, yes. Absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely all over that, no doubt. And so he's actually a funny guy, too. I did not realize that, but he's pretty funny on social media, just as a quick little footnote there. But I think he's one storyline to look at. Rory McIlroy was absolutely dominant at the RBC Canadian Open, so maybe there's something there. Brooks Koepka is the pinnacle of major championship consistency right now. He is the favorite at 7-1. Dustin Johnson right there at 8-1. He's a guy who has played well at Pebble before, so plenty of interesting storylines here, not named Tiger Woods, but Tiger, of course, is number one on everybody's list in terms of the headlines. But it should be an exciting tournament, but really tough as well. I could see -3 as the winning score.
Tournament moves west out to the coast in the beautiful aerial shots of Pebble Beach as we get a full tourney here and a sort of a really quiet weekend. I looked down and even said to my wife, like, any concerts this weekend, anything going on? Any beat? No, well, they're gonna have a major this week. So I guess that would lend itself to something special television-wise if you get 3-4 guys and Tiger happens to be one of them in high-speed pursuit. It could be an interesting weekend from the television perspective, considering the NBA and the NHL will be over with, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, obviously this is a fun week for golf fans across the world. The U.S. Open and Pebble Beach kind of go hand in hand. We've seen it before in 2010. Of course, Tiger in 2000, winning by a gajillion shots and all that. And you have a lot of good players who are playing well. I think that's the important part. Brooks is playing well. Dustin is playing well. Jordan Spieth is all of a sudden starting to play well. I think he's a dark horse to hoist the trophy on Sunday afternoon. Also, Nestor, we have prime time golf because they are playing on the West Coast. This might not be done until 10 o'clock our time.
Well, we will be watching on Saturday, on Sunday, and some early birds will be getting it going as they tee off a little later, so you could sleep in a little bit. You can follow this guy's Tiger Woods podcast out on Stitcher and all places that pods go. Tell them about your Tiger Woods podcast and how you do it at Believe. First time I've heard of this, Cam.
Yeah, so it's the Believe Network, spelled B-L-E-A-V, the number one sports podcast network based in Los Angeles. So we have teams dedicated to every LA sports team. We have Ryan Leaf doing the Chargers podcast, for example, and the list goes on.
I like Ryan Leaf immensely, by the way. He stops by every year at the Super Bowl. We've really gotten to know him a little bit. Incredible story, Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, absolutely great guy and just a really great story. And so we have niche-type topics such as The Bachelor, we have yoga, and of course, a Tiger Woods podcast. So definitely check it out. It's not just me on the network. There are some really fine hosts that are doing some really great content. Believe.com is the way to go for that.
All right, man. When you come back down here, bring me some tenders from the back room or something, some lobster roll, I don't know. So something Granite from the Granite State. He is Cam Rogers. You can find him out at MRRogers99 doing the golf thing. And, you're struggling with the Orioles with the rest of us or what? Here, you paying attention to all this?
I'm slugging along. Can we get some starting pitching? We've been saying that for 15 years, I think.
The hardest part for me to take seriously, like with a guy like you talking about the Orioles, is they're not trying to win. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so when you're not trying to win, it's easy to lose. And it's easy for me to say, hey, let's talk about, Pebble Beach instead this week or Baltimore Positive. Cam, great having you on. Don't be a stranger, man. A pleasure.
Appreciate it, Nestor. Take care, my man.
Cam Rogers, he is MR Rogers, like Mr. Rogers, 9-9 out. And a young man, a fine young man from Nashua, New Hampshire, who went to the University of Maryland. So that's good. We'll see how far the Terps education gets. Seems like a nice kid. Go check out his podcast or follow him on Twitter. All of our WNST insider stuff's going to be happening. Baltimore Positive will be at State Fair on Thursday with C. Fraser Smith talking all sorts of things. I mean, Lefty Drizel and Len Bias and Governor Schaefer and his new book that's coming out and an incredible history of journalism. I like journalists a lot. C. Fraser Smith, one of the real good ones. He's going to join us at State Fair this week. Mayor Jack Young, next Thursday, the 20th, we're going to be at Fadley's Seafood. That means I get crab cakes. Man, Damie's too nice to me there. She fattens me up. Next Thursday, I'll be eating like half of Lexington Market. We're going to get going early, 9 a.m. with the Mayor Jack Young at Fadley's in Lexington Market. Historic Fadley's. Man, what a story. You got to listen to that in the podcast. Find it out at BaltimorePositive.com. We did talk to the Divine family. Incredible story. Real Baltimore Positive story. So Don and I are looking forward to getting back on it this week. You can learn more at Baltimore Positive. All of our great sponsors out there as well. All of our WNST coverage also brought to you by our friends at Hammer and Nails. Look, it's Father's Day this week. The Ultimate Man Cave Nirvana gives you the ultimate deal for Father's Day. Get on in there. Get the card. Look, shave, relax, hot towel, adult beverages, haircut. I'm getting my haircut next week. My hair grew more. I get it cut more often. Manicure, pedicure, and none of the smelly stuff. That's part of their deal. They do manicure, they do pedicure, but it's the man part of the manicure. So there's no chemicals, no smell, none of that stuff. But you get it done there. Big screen TVs. Come on in, have a drink. Make your appointment around a game you want to watch, or maybe around golf this week. Father's Day. Hammer and Nails, we've been telling you about it. Get a gift card for Dad. Dad'll dig Hammer and Nails. Trust me. Dads dig man caves. I know, I'm a dad. Hey, it's Father's Day this week. What can I do to embarrass my son? All of our WNSD coverage brought to you by Strategic Factory, creating your masterpiece. I've got stuff on my son this week. I'm going to start to threaten him on text. I found some pictures that have never been shared before. And yes, they're clothed. But for those of you who love my son, it's a great Father's Day week. So for those of you out there, Strategic Factory, everybody's hitting me about Baltimore Positive stuff. Cups, hats, shirts. Good thing I know the folks at Strategic Factory because I can make that happen. I've got the incredible tablecloth we put out at State Fair, and we're going to put that out at Fadley's next week for the mayor because the mayor's coming. We're going to roll out the Baltimore Positive carpet. But I got to get out the Strategic Factory folks here, work on some Be Positive swag. Yeah, something like that. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.